Well, Darren, 2 or 3 games into pre-season. How do you feel it's going so far?
Yeah, it's going well. The attitude, the application has been fantastic from them. The integration of 1 or 2 new lads has been good as well. The squad are getting to know each other and working hard. And it's early, but we're going where we should be, I think, and the fitness levels are very good.
With any non-league team, it's always a bit disruptive in the summer months, players taking holidays. Are there any of the lads that haven't been to any sessions yet that are still to show face? Yeah,
there is actually a few. We knew we were coming back early. That was the remit really, and there will be a few days off in the middle of pre-season based on that. And that was because also we needed games, and the Queen of the South game came in fairly early for us in the schedule. So we've started training a little bit earlier. Some are away on holiday. That's just because it was an early start. Lads still haven't arrived. So when we get everybody together, which possibly might not be till maybe the Penrith game, we'll just keep plugging away. And that's what I think what you've got to do as a group of staff is remember, like you said, it's part-time football, and they've got to live lives, and they've got to work, and they've got to look after their families, and don't get stressed by it. What we've been pushing already in our chats with them is while they're here, maximum effort has to be given to each session, and then the remit will be around how we play football and how fit we are. And if one thing you shouldn't be left out of a team for is because you're not keeping yourself fit enough or you're not looking after yourself. So that they know where the boundaries are and how they're going to know the non-negotiables that we'll expect, and we'll build towards that over the next few weeks, ready for August.
First 2 sessions you had to work in baking hot temperatures, a bit more normal tonight, and but nevertheless I think the lads responded on those 2 opening nights, and put a shift in on each occasion.
Yeah, well, we were quite lucky in that a few lads have got their phones where they can their watches where they can monitor where they were at, and even that we tried to gauge it by not so much cutting back the running, but the session was a little bit shorter, even though the intensity was still there, and it looks like the stats are saying that they've worked as hard as would normally be, even with maybe 20 minutes less on the session. So you can't pick and choose the weather. We could play the first game of the season, it's sweltering hot, we just don't know, so you've got to get ready for it and be fit. So yeah, that we just tailored it slightly, but yeah, they've done really well.
What's the plan for the next few weeks? Do you concentrate on fitness, or do you adopt your style of play that you want to introduce, come August? What's the priority?
Yeah, both I think is what we've got to try to do. Plus you're integrating, new players, and you bring in players maybe up levels, which isn't an issue because the players that we're bringing in are capable of this level. We're aware of that. It's just maybe then intensity and possibly fitness levels. So fitness has got to be key over the next few weeks for definite. The game, the way we want to play, the style can be put into training sections. It doesn't have to be 11v11. It can be put into training, which has happened already. We've just talked briefly there about retention of the ball and making sure that even when you're tired, your communication and your passing is accurate. You don't have to knock 25, 30. If we're knocking too many 25, 30 yard passes, you're going to give the ball away.
Yeah, there's not too many Glenn Hoddles in Northern Premier League.
No, and that's everywhere. So we've got to make sure that you're supporting, you're making the right angles, and they're learning that now, and it's good. The possession has been really good, the ball's been really good, the intensity has been really good. So from a staff's point of view at the moment, we're really pleased with where we are.
Are you happy with your recruitment so far?
Yes, I think when I spoke to the board, there wasn't a distinct remit, but we'd all like to see a lot more local players playing, a lot more youngsters given opportunities, and I think that's then relatable to your fan base, and that's what we're trying to do. We're not bringing people in just to fill a squad because we think we went about it wrong last year, and it was all brought in too quickly and there was too much panic and we didn't have enough players. The nucleus is good. The 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever it was that were retained or potentially retained, are because they're really good players at this level and they've proved it. So what we need to bring is another 10 that can get to that level at some stage or be there now, and add different types of player into that squad. So yeah, I'm more than happy with where we are at the moment. Yeah, there's been targets that we've missed, but we'll get others, and there are other targets there, and I am hoping that it'll be a nucleus that are Cumbrian based, and that's not derogatory to standards in Cumbria. It's not that it's there. They've just got to be given a chance, and they've got to want to take the chance. That's the other thing. We've got to look at what I've been doing. Also, is just been talking to them there after training about characters, and the right character will also benefit the team. It's not, if you've got talent but your character isn't right, the talent won't come out. So we've got to nurture mindsets and work ethics and things like that to get the best out of everybody.
In an ideal world, what sort of numbers would you be happy working with?
Yeah, it's difficult because you've always got to work to a budget and make sure that you respect the budget. So we're also looking at a few of the young lads are getting opportunities to train. When we've got smaller numbers, we'll bring the under 18s, under 19s in and see where they are. So at this moment in time, I think numbers are difficult to put a figure on, because what you might think you might need, if 2 or 3 young boys are stepping up pre-season, then that can save you a lot of money as well, and without knocking the quality of what you've got. There's no point having a good under 18s, a good under 16s if you're not going to be given opportunities. So pre-season will all be about that. The young lads will get an opportunity at some stage, and likewise people will get the right game time, and it's up to them then.
Team spirit important, obviously, and early days, but it looks as though they're bonding pretty quickly.
I think that's part of what myself and the staff, Brian and Billy, have talked about, is that cohesion and that group ethic and that togetherness. So it comes from being close, being local. It's difficult. If you're travelling 2 hours for a part-time football club, I'm not sure it works to get that camaraderie, and your nights out are then different, or your away travel, bonding on the bus, and the banter there is different. So there's a lot to come into to putting a squad together, and I'm not going to say that we're going to win the league this year, but we'll be having a right go, and we'll be doing it in different ways, and it won't just be because of a lack of a talent or lack of fitness. All the principles will be there that the fans are paying for and they want to see. And then if we're falling short somewhere, we'll go and look elsewhere again. But I think it's time that everybody realise that we want to. This club is the biggest non-league club in this county, and we need to make sure all the best players want to come and play for this football club.
The supporters have been very generous once again, and supplemented your budget with the budget booster. Your thoughts on that, and how would it be used in the weeks to come? Yeah,
I think for the last couple of years, obviously being elsewhere, seeing what's happened with that has been fantastic, and again that is really, really important for the club, and the appreciation, I know from the last managers, they must have been really appreciative of it, and we are this year. What we're going to make sure is that as it comes in, and we'd love more to come in, we're not just going to throw it at individuals. It's got to be spent wisely, and if it's not spent, then what the fans know is that it'll be sat there waiting for when we think is the right time to use it. So what we can't do is go and bludgeon it into August, and then think by the time we get to October, this isn't working. If we can get a group of players that we think, and it's on our head, that are ready and good enough, and we don't have to use that money, and it can be sat there, then great. Because if we are where we want to be at Christmas, that can be used again to reinforce the squad, make it slightly better if we need be, so that there's a progression all the time. The money is fantastic, and I don't want people to think that we're giving aimless money away to local lads that aren't good enough. That's not the case. We're being sensible, and we want to use it correctly, because we know every penny is important. It's tough times everybody going through. So if we can get 20 again or more than that this season, and we are wise with it, then we can make it go, I think, put it to better use than it has been used over the last couple of years maybe.
Yeah. So one more training session, and we kick off early, very early. Has that fixture, a good fixture by the way, has that come just a week or two too soon?
Well, we maybe won't know till we play it. I've already spoke to Queens about the squad that we'll have to take with us, and they're still appreciative of the game because they've lost some fixtures in their pre-season. So it is a good fixture that we can compete in and give a good account. The result's irrelevant. The scoreline will be irrelevant. If we win, great. If we get beat, it doesn't matter. It's it's June.
Yeah.
You know, we don't care till August how results go. We're just looking at performances and fitness levels. And if we can then keep a good tie with Queens and get fixtures with them over pre-seasons and stuff, then they're the kind of links that you want.
It's a varied programme, some interesting teams and some decent opposition. Is that the lot, or will there be any more squeezed in?
I think that the balance between too many games is always a fine one, and every manager's got a different opinion on it. I wanted a weekend off in the middle of the fixtures, really, to give the lads a rest and a bit of family time, and we've got games either side. Don't forget you can do in-house games as well. So at the moment I think we're okay. If Man City want to come bring the reserves up, we'll play them. But we take that on board. But myself and Brian Billy were happy with where we are at the moment. Yeah.
Darren, good start, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you.